Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast. I'm here, as always, with my good friend Jeremiah Stringer, who just told me I am number one. And I am so thankful to be here with you today, man. Are you excited about the podcast today?
I am, man. I'm really excited. You're number one in my heart.
I love it, man. I love it. And
Yes.
we got a really good topic to talk about. Like,
we do.
a lot of times we're very unscripted.
Mhm.
Like, our last episode was just complete nonsense. I'm
Just
sure
for
it was
fun.
very entertaining, but it was definitely complete nonsense. And so today we're actually going to be talking about weird things that people take on trail that they probably should have left at home.
Yeah. Now,
Like-
before we do you want to tell everybody how to enter the giveaway?
Ooh, that's a good call, man.
Yeah. No catch. No catch. We're
No
not trying to
catch.
get anything.
No catch. If you look in the description of this podcast
Uh-huh.
on Anchor, or you just go to backpackingpodcast.com,
Yeah.
you click on this episode.
Uh-huh.
This is episode 64.
Yep.
And you go in the description. There's a link there for a Google form. Just fill that out real quick. All we're asking for is your social security number, all your credit card numbers, and your
Credit
bank
card, yeah.
accounts.
Mhm.
So fill all that out, give it to us, and we're
was-
going to cancel the podcast, and you'll never hear from us again.
He's joking. It's actually about a royal Nigerian prince.
Yes.
And he's needing you to help him get his sister out of jail and
Exactly.
No,
and
I'm
we will share
joking.
his fortune with you. But if you fill out the Google form, we're just gonna ask a couple funny questions.
Yeah.
And give some information, and you will be signed up to
Yeah.
win some really swaggy gear from Chicken Tramper, Hilltop Packs, I believe Outdoor Beards, Outdoor Vitals,
Waymark.
Trailcraft. Just all kinds of companies
Yeah.
that are going to be in there that we're going to be doing giveaways for. So definitely click on that link in the description.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah, let's talk about weird things that people take on the trail. And here's the thing: when you first start backpacking, you always take dumb stuff.
Oh, I did it, man.
we all
Half these
did it.
things are me.
I mean, how much weight did you have in your backpack on your first trip?
Oh, it had to be 60 plus. Had to.
Oh yeah,
40 miles through the Smokies.
Yeah.
60 plus pounds.
yeah,
Just hoofing.
dude. We had to pack day packs for
Uh-huh.
Kilimanjaro during the day.
Yeah.
Because we did like base camps through the
Sure.
whole thing. So we had to do day packs. My day pack weighed 40 pounds. Like, it was so full of stuff.
Oh
I just
gosh.
filled it up with everything. You know, had food and water, and I mean, like, way more water than I needed. A ton of food. Like, I just thought for some reason I was going to have to eat every 5 seconds and it was all Cliff Bars, dude.
I do like to eat about once an hour, once every 90
Dude,
minutes.
I could have eaten once every 3 minutes the way I packed that stupid thing.
Cliff Bars.
It was all Cliff Bars, so super dense, super heavy, all Cliff Bars. And I think I had some beef jerky and some other stuff. And man, my back was killing me.
I bet.
So 40 pounds for a day pack. That's intelligent.
That is more than like an overnight backpack, dude.
That's more than what I carried for the entire 5 days of the Pictured Rocks trip.
What do you do? Like, what kind of pack were you using as day pack?
It was an Osprey 50-liter pack. No joke. I could have gotten away with like a 20-liter pack if I knew now, or if I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been way different.
Yeah.
But I was just dumb as a rock, dude. I was so green.
Just
I was so green.
just greed.
I remember the first day we all show up with our packs, and there's like 16 of us doing this, right? In
Uh-huh.
our group. And the first day we all get out there with our packs, and we get done with that day, and we're all like, I'm not bringing half that stuff. So the next day, everybody's pack weighed like 10 pounds.
Do they have like a
Like-
process set up for like you shedding that, or do you get it on the way back down, or?
Well, when you do it, it's a guided trip,
Mhm.
and you have base camps, and then you have like a big bag with all your gear because you're hiking in multiple different climates.
Mhm.
Like, you start out in like early fall, late summer kind of weather where it's like 70.
Yeah.
Within a day, it's 50. And by the time you get to the top, you're in Arctic conditions.
Yeah. So you need all sets of gear.
Yeah, so you've got to bring way more gear than you're actually ever going to
Uh-huh.
carry. And you put it in a single bag. You put
Yeah.
all your gear in there, including your sleeping bag and everything. And you've got a guy that carries that up the mountain.
The
He's
old
paid to do that.
Sherpa.
Oh, yeah. These guys are called, I can't remember now. But they carried all of our stuff. They were like Sherpas, but they weren't called Sherpas. That's a Nepali thing from Everest.
Yeah, I probably just offended the entire culture. Sorry about that.
As long as you tip well, I'm sure they won't care.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
That's a good
And there was
point.
one guy, I definitely tipped him. There was one guy, this is no joke.
Uh,
Like, you appreciate these guys because you get to know them for the week.
Yeah.
You know their names. They know you. You got 2 guys that wake you up every morning with hot chocolate and coffee. Let me tell you how nice that was.
That's who you tip.
Yeah, it was by the end of the week, like by the end, because it's 7 days.
Yeah.
So by the last day, I mean, even by day 3, they're like, "Hey, Johnny, you want your coffee and your hot chocolate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
Johnny.
And it wasn't Johnny, it was Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
It was Johnny the whole week, dude. That was like my name. It was so fun.
You just offended all the other cultures.
No, because I love these people.
Oh, okay.
That was literally what they called me, Johnny.
That's awesome, dude.
They were awesome, dude. They were some of the coolest people. But anyways.
Did you see anybody on that trip bring some ridiculous stuff that they had to leave?
I didn't pay enough attention to other people at that trip because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. If there was one person that had no right to look down at anybody, it was me.
You're probably just trying to survive.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I'm going to go ahead and start off with one thing that I see people do.
Okay.
And it's always newer backpackers. It's always newer backpackers who they get confused between camping and backpacking.
Yeah.
Because they really are 2 different things.
Yeah. Well, you get to do both. I mean, you get to do camping while backpacking.
Yeah, but
it's a confusing
But it's not like car camping or RV camping or anything like that. This is like everything you need has to be on your back. And they freak out about water.
Yeah.
Like every time they're like, they don't know. Usually it's the fact they don't know about filtering water. All they assume is you have to bring all the water you're going to need for every day.
Yeah.
And carry it the whole time. And so one of my favorite things, and you'll see it if you go to the Red River Gorge, is you see people with full gallon jugs of water, like with like rope or bungee cords tied to the backs of their backpacks.
Just swinging around.
Just swinging around, man. Jingle bells hanging off of their, and it's crazy. You know how heavy that is.
Oh, yeah. It's like 8 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's like 10 pounds a jug. Yeah. So they're adding 20 pounds to their weight. And not only that, it's not snug against you, so it's swinging.
Yeah.
So it's almost like adding another 5 to 10 pounds just because of the way it's swinging around on your body. And so I see guys do that all the time.
Dude, I had to get a picture. I made sure everybody's back was turned. There's this group that was walking down the road, and they I don't think that they were going far. And we were like getting set up and like eating and stuff, and we were going to head down that same way. And they had, every one of them had like a full-size camping chair, like the kind you sit out on the lawn.
Yeah.
They had those. I feel like such a douche talking about this kind of.
Well, here's the thing. You're always a beginner doing that.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's been backpacking for 20 years who is intentionally doing that.
Me and Jason did carry in cornhole boards. A mile in, 2 miles in.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm not trying to look down upon anyone.
No,
don't take it that way.
It's just funny the things that we do.
Yeah.
Early on when we're backpacking.
This guy had like a synthetic sleeping bag, like the big ones.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't in a compressible bag, and he just doesn't know. And like you said, there's a cord hanging down from his backpack, and it's swinging, just hitting him in the legs. And I can only imagine how long it took in that hike for him to be like, nope. And I even heard somebody ask him, "Does that bother you? Is that bothering you?" Because they're walking behind him, and he was like, "No, it's okay." And it was just swinging and hitting him and hitting.
Well,
him.
do you remember when it was right before COVID got like pandemic stage in the United States?
Yeah.
And that February, I had gone up to Wisconsin, went backpacking with like Dan Becker, the Schill brothers, a couple other backpackers. We went up there, and I borrowed backpacking with Jason's 15-degree underquilt.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have an underquilt that was cool enough. It was warm enough for that weather.
Yeah.
So I borrowed that. Well, I forgot to get it back to him before we planned an overnight with Ben McMillan. Right before everything shut down. Remember this?
So you got to carry it in.
So I had to carry it in, and it didn't fit in my backpack with everything else.
Yeah.
So, because at the time I was using a frameless pack, and it was only like a 40-liter pack, and I couldn't fit 3 quilts and all my stuff inside the pack. So I got his like a storage bag for it.
Yeah,
the
like a
canvas
laundry
storage bag.
mesh.
Yeah. Tied it to the back of my backpack and just hiked all the way out to you guys with this thing bouncing on my back the whole time. And I can't imagine people not looking at me going, what is that dude doing? Like, it looked weird, and I knew it. And there was a lady that came and she goes, what's on your back? And I was like, oh, I'm playing Santa for this thing for these kids. She's like, really? I was like, no. I was like, no. So we do it too. I mean, and there's sometimes reasons like that. That was the reason I had to do it. Another one I see people do, but you won't see it till you get to camp, is they will bring cans of food.
Yeah, the Chef Boyardee special.
Chef Boyardee, beans, all that kind of stuff is so heavy.
Can you cook that inside the can on your stove? Can you do that?
You can do that.
I'm sure that I'm getting some carcinogens from that.
There's a possibility.
Just a little bit of cancer, just a kiss.
Well, it's pre-cancer.
It's pre-cancer.
So it may not kill you. It may not kill you. But yeah, so like I see people do that all the time. Okay, so if you see any others, I've got one I've got to tell you about that happened recently to me that I had no choice on.
I want to tell you about the cans.
Tell me about the cans.
Okay, on my first backpacking trip, the people I went with brought cans through the Smokies, and like their dinner was SpaghettiOs or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went camping not too long ago. Bridget and I went to Holly Bay Campground. We were taking the dogs, and I tried to make everything as perfect as possible because I knew that it would be a pain to have the dogs. It's always harder when we take the dogs. It's like two little kids running around that you got to keep an eye on. Well, except these kids can bite people. So,
yep.
I thought, let's just take some canned stuff, and I think we roasted hot dogs and maybe the cans was baked beans or something like that. Just something easy.
Right.
Got down there, and actually this has happened on 2 trips. Happened with another couple that we went camping with. Got the can, but guess what? You need to open it.
A can opener.
Mm-hmm. So I drove around probably for 5 to 10 minutes around the campground asking people if they had a can opener, and one lovely couple did. And
so you bought cans of food that didn't have the flip top?
It was a giant can of baked beans.
Bro, how big is a giant can of baked beans? Fill me in on like the size of a giant can of baked beans.
I don't know how many ounces it is, but it's hefty. Like maybe half the size of one of those big cans of tomato juice.
So you're saying like 6 or 8 inches in diameter on the top?
Not that big. Half the size. You know what a big can of tomato juice looks like, don't you?
I mean, dude, I don't really drink a lot of tomato juice. So
you use it for chili and vegetable soup?
I don't do that for chili.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we do. Anyways, the can's probably this big.
Okay.
Yeah. Not too
so
big.
you're talking like 4 inches.
Yeah. I mean,
3 or 4 inches. That's a big can.
It's a big can, and I had another can of something on a different trip, and I opened it with my pocket knife. And one of the people was there. He was like, man, that's a sad pocket knife after opening that can. I mean, I was
oh, yeah,
like smashing through. Yeah, I think that you can just buy those little ones. You can just like,
yeah.
Nope, not me. Had to borrow or have a knife.
There you go, man.
I know.
There you go. So you actually took this huge can out there, and you cooked it on the fire? Or did you put it in something?
I bet that I was using a backpacking stove.
Yeah.
It's so convenient, man. Camping when you have backpacking gear, so convenient.
Yeah.
Like
it's nice.
If you're cooking everything in a cast iron skillet over the fire.
I've seen people bring cast iron skillets.
Uh-huh.
Those
no,
things,
not on trail.
I've seen people with cast iron skillets on trail. I'm not kidding you. At Hanson's Point. You know, like that's my, okay, for people who don't, that is my happy place.
Oh, I did too. Yeah.
That is my happy place, dude.
I would bring that for a couple miles.
For 2 miles, it's not so bad. But like this guy was backpacking for like 2 or 3 days.
That's a hefty luxury item.
That item is as heavy as some people's backpacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
cast
probably 8 pounds.
iron.
5
Yeah,
to 8 pounds.
10 pounds probably. Those things are heavy.
I know, but those things are like brutes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know this. When you go backpacking, you have to take a battery pack, battery bank of some kind, especially if you're a YouTuber because you want to do video, and you're usually using your phone or you're using a camera or something, and you got to recharge stuff.
Well, you don't have to. Some people comment on my videos and say,
that's fine. But
hey,
you have to.
You need to turn off your cell phone out there and just enjoy nature. You don't need a battery pack.
And that's when you tell them, okay, then I'll never do another video for you ever again. So, because if you're not going to use technology, you get no videos.
Yeah.
So let's just stop with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't take it personally, people. So here's the thing. So I have a battery bank. I've had it since 2015. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's 6 years old. It's an Anchor 20,000 milliamp battery pack. Use it on all my longer trips. And I've got this 5-day trip planned to Pictured Rocks.
Yeah.
And so I get the battery bank, charge it. I always charge it the night before, and it's got an auto shut off, so when it's done charging, it just stops charging.
Sure.
I get up the next morning. It didn't charge anything. When I went to bed, it was flashing, so it was charging. When I got up the next morning, it was still flashing on 1. I thought that was really weird, so I unplugged it, pressed the button, didn't charge anything. So it was
goodness.
DOA, man. Done. Like, it just decided to die the morning of a trip. So so I had to come up with something, and it was a 5-day trip, so a small battery bank wasn't going to get it done. I didn't feel like spending money right before the trip. I had to spend all this money on gas to get up there. It's a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I guess I'm going to take my big battery bank. I brought it.
How big's the big?
If you're watching on video right now, this is a brick, dude. This thing is a 27,000 milliamp battery bank by Zendor. It's heavy, dude. That thing weighs 1.4 pounds.
I started to say that's a couple pounds. That's cool, though. It tells you what percent.
Yeah, it's really not. I use it for photography stuff, and it's a backup for my computer if I'm somewhere where, like, there's no power, but I need to recharge my computer. That thing will recharge my MacBook Pro.
Wow. All the way?
All the way.
Wow, it does. It says 27,000 milliamp hours.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really nice.
15, it's got quick charge, too.
Yeah.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, but this thing weighs...
It's too heavy for backpacking.
But I had no choice. It was that or I didn't have power.
Or spend however much they are.
Right.
Probably $80 at Walmart.
Yeah, and right now I already knew how much the trip was going to cost. I was going to buy food, like, when I first got there, and we were all going to go out to eat afterwards like we always do on these trips.
Working on a budget.
At hotels. 2 nights of hotels, all this stuff is like, there's no way. Yeah. I'm just not spending another $50 to $100 on a battery bank. Mm-hmm. And so I just had to suck it up and take this guy with me. That is the heaviest electronics bag I have ever had in my life traveling. And the worst part is, I didn't realize this battery bank is set up so that when you leave it plugged in, it keeps draining.
Oh.
And so, like, now I charged this 2 weeks ago, okay? What does that say right there?
100.
100. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. 100 is what it's charged to. 2 weeks just sitting by itself. In one night, just charging my iPhone because I didn't unplug the iPhone, it dropped 25% because I didn't unplug it. And so it just kept draining power all night long. And so I learned that by the end, it lasted me the whole week because this is 27,000 milliamps, which is stupid. But it lasted me the whole week, but man, it weighed a ton. Sometimes, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes when you're backpacking, you just have to make a decision, and it may not always be in your favor, but it's that or you don't go, or it's that or you don't get to do things that you want to do on the trip.
Yeah, I do that with some equipment that I haven't replaced. I got to take it, and even though it's heavier, it'll get me out there, so it's worth it.
Yep.
I have a 10,000 milliamp hour charger, and I like to use my Apple Watch on trail, mostly because I get in these competitions with people where you got to close the rings and all that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I have such a big ego that there's no way I'm going to lose one of those competitions.
You are really an egomaniac.
It's the ego, man.
It's bad, man.
And I know I'm going to get a perfect, like, points day. You can get max 600 points.
Right.
I'm going to get that every time if I'm hiking because you put on a workout. And not only does the workout tell you how far you've walked, how long you've been walking, what your pace is, mile-wise per hour, it'd be like, oh, you walked an 18-minute mile. Good. So I like that information on my wrist. But this is an older watch, so it dies like
every day.
It dies every day, just in general. Like last night when I put it on the charge, I gotten up at like, I don't know, 9 or 10 a.m. and put the watch on and then charged it. Or I charged it the night before, put it on, 9 or 10 a.m., didn't even use a workout, and is at 3% last night.
Can I tell you something
What?
That's going to drive you crazy?
Is this about me waking up at 9 or 10?
No.
Okay.
Because we already know that's ridiculous. So, no, the watch I'm wearing is a Sunto Baro 9.
Yeah.
I am not sponsored by them. We are not sponsored by them. Mm-hmm. They're from Europe, so they care less about us. But this watch is expensive, which
Yeah.
I mean the Apple Watch isn't cheap, but
It's probably not expensive. Apple Watch new is like $279 for the budget one now.
yeah, I got this one at 50% off
Yeah.
because I have a friend who's in the military and he has a discount for friends and family. I got this for $300, 50% off.
Wow.
But I took this up and charged it the night before the trip. 5 days on the trail, never had to charge it.
But does it tell you your pace and stuff?
It tells you it'll take everything and send it straight to Strava for you.
Wow.
So it does heart rate, it does sleep, it does. It's got a barometer built into it. It's got GPS, so you can actually look at where you're at on the trail on the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does all that stuff.
Now,
And it's got it's got battery modes. And so you can put it in a battery mode that only uses what it needs to use for that day. So I can have it the whole day set up. Yeah, I don't need to charge it.
but
the whole week.
I can't enter the competitions.
You can do competitions on Strava.
I never heard of Strava.
You need to look up Strava.
I bet that you researched all these watches, right?
Yeah.
Because you were thinking about, if I'm going to spend $300, I'm going to research
Well,
which
I thought
one
I was
want
going to spend $600
on that one.
on this watch, and then I found out I could get it for $300. I had no idea I was going to get to do that.
Well, I got that Garmin InReach Mini.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about buying the Garmin Phoenix, like the new, whatever I guess it's a 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
The latest and greatest. And I mean, it's on sale. It's always like $600, $650, something like that.
Yeah.
I thought about buying one of those, and I thought maybe it would pair up super well, perfectly with the InReach Mini. But I don't know if they have a like continuity thing between Garmin.
I don't know. I just know like there's all kinds of things you can bring on trail.
Yeah.
But if you don't have power, because we use our phones for GPS.
Yeah.
You know, we use headlamps. My headlamp's a rechargeable headlamp.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get to hiking late at night and you need it for like an hour or two, you probably need to charge it when you go to bed.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, because you might need it the next day too.
Exactly. And so you need power. Like people who say you don't need technology, well, that's great. You go out there and backpack like it's $18.99, and I'm gonna backpack like it's 2021, and I'm gonna have my headlamps and all that stuff. But to do that, you gotta have power. Unfortunately, this was my power.
Oh, I was going to tell you about my 10,000 milliamp hour charger.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So it shuts off whenever your phone's fully charged.
My Anchor does that.
But I think that it doesn't recognize that the watch still needs to charge because you put it on a pad, right? You had an Apple Watch before that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And you lay it on a little pad. So I think that it thinks that since the electric's going to the pad, it's got some kind of disconnect, and it won't charge my watch up. A lot of those power banks, you have to hit the button to activate it after you plug it in. And I have one that you don't. You plug it in, you plug one into the bank, plug one into the device, and once the device is charged, it's done, and it shuts off.
Yeah.
Or you got to hit the button to start it to charge, and then once it's done charging, you're at 100%, it shuts it off. This one will not charge the Apple Watch. So I have started using my hand warmer battery bank to charge the Apple Watch and as a hand warmer.
And as a hand warmer. Instead of hot hands, which you are known for taking about.
Oh.
You must own stock in hot hands.
I'm not sponsored by Hot Hands, but
it should be.
Yeah. Well, they did melt my quilt, so I don't know.
Well, they owe you then. They should sponsor you just for the simple fact they owe you.
Yeah. I think it says on the package.
Hey, at least you didn't melt Brad Paisley.
Oh yeah.
Good old Brad Paisley.
So fluffy. Brad Paisley's so fluffy.
Okay, so let me tell you my last story because I know we need to wrap up here in a few minutes. But my last story is I went on a backpacking trip with a buddy of mine. It was the first time we'd ever gone backpacking, and we decided we'd do this thing where we switch up our gear. I'd give him my gear, and he'd give me his gear.
Yeah, this sounds like a good buddy.
Yeah, he wasn't a very good buddy. So we get out on the trail, and I realized, man, this guy, his load is heavy. Like, he carries a lot of stuff. So we get to camp, and we're videoing the whole thing because, we're both YouTube guys, so we're videoing everything. And I'm pulling all the gear out, and I pull out this thing that looks like a tent. It's like a Six Moon Designs checkered tent. I don't know. So it was Six Moon Designs. It was like a Lunar Solo or something like that.
Yeah, Lunar Solo.
So I pulled that out, and I looked. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. There's the tent for today. It's like, I've been wanting to check those out anyways. And then I pull out another one. I was like, that's tent stakes. There's no tent stakes for a lunar solo.
Yeah, Lunar Solo has tent stakes.
No, it doesn't. You use trekking pole tents. That's a trekking pole tent.
Oh, not stakes.
Poles. Sorry, poles. Yeah,
poles.
poles. Yeah, I pull out poles for a tent. I'm like, this guy doesn't use poles. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of them, and they're heavy.
Yeah.
So I throw it down. There's another tent in his backpack.
For the record.
I just want to point out that at no point when you're backpacking just for yourself do you need to bring a backup tent. That is unnecessary in every form of the word. And for those who are wondering who the friend is that performed this heinous act on me, it was Jeremiah Jerome Stringer who did this to me.
It was me.
He brought he put 2 tents in the backpack, man.
Now, for the record, the Lunar Solo, you can use a single tent pole that's like 48 inches, carbon fiber pole, or aluminum. Or you can use a trekking pole.
Or you can use a North Face 4-person tent
3
and use those poles to just not use that tent at all.
Now, some bushcrafters will tell you 2 is 1, 1 is none. So redundancy is key, John. It's key when it comes to surviving the night.
You don't believe that?
Well, I'm not taking 2 tents. I'll take 2 lighters. And
I do take 2 lighters typically. Yeah. I hate to admit that, but I do. I take one with my med kit. So if I get like a blister and I need to use my needle, I heat the end of the needle so it's sterile and then do some popping.
I bring all kinds of lighters sometimes.
Yeah.
I have one. I like to keep one in my toiletries. So if I don't have tinder, I'll pull off a little bit of toilet paper, and then I already have the lighter there.
Is that what that smell is when you say you're going to go poop? Are you like burning it? Is that what you do?
Is
that how you leave no trace?
Burning the poopy paper? No, I don't do that. I burn clean paper in the fire pit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll keep one in there. I'll keep one in my hip belt pocket sometimes, in my pocket.
Okay, so 2 is 1, but 4 is 4.
Well, 4 is 3.
Okay, 3 is too many.
Sometimes I'll double up on the knives too.
That's funny.
Like if I'm going to process wood, then I will take like the bushcraft style knife, whatever, a full tang.
Right.
8-inch blade
like
or
a
whatever.
Moore knife or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I can baton wood with it.
Yeah. Did I tell you I took a Moore knife on my trip most recently? That it's got a built-in flint steel on the back of it.
Oh, did you try it?
Well, I've already used it before.
Oh, okay.
I tried it out by myself and used it, but Miyagi wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And so he got that thing out and was like working it hard and wasn't paying attention, sliced his finger open.
No, those knives are so sharp.
Dude, he got blood all over my knife. How dare he do that? What a jerk.
Yeah, that is a jerk.
Why would you put blood all over? I'm just kidding. But he did cut himself. And so he got, if you've ever met Miyagi, which we talk about Miyagi quite a bit.
Yeah.
That dude does not give up.
No.
And so he worked until that fire started, and he got it started with that.
Wow.
With his finger bleeding everywhere. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So all that to
awesome,
say, my Moore knife has a flint on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it also has blood.
Yeah. Well, we cleaned that off. Thank goodness. So like I'll bring a saw and a knife with me. A lot of times.
Yeah, I'll bring a saw and 2 knives sometimes.
I don't bring 2 knives. I'll just bring a knife.
Well, one is like a pocket knife. Like,
yeah.
I have this one that's just like a cheapie from Walmart.
Yeah.
And then I have
I got my Benchmade that I take with me.
Oh, yeah.
I love this knife.
Yours is bigger than mine.
Well, that's genetics. So
I also, I keep the lighter. Like, I want to tell you this. The, what is that? The Jetboil. What is that new one?
The one that you did the video on?
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
I've been trying it out and using it. You know, I took it on the last 3 trips.
Is it pretty nice?
Stash. It's called the Stash.
Yeah.
Sorry, it slipped my mind. It's fine, but the lid, you can put your mini Bic inside of the can and then snap the canister into the lid.
Oh, that's
cool.
So
it sits inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I keep a lighter in there, man. I don't mind to take, if it's stuff I know I'm going to use, and if it's for convenience and it doesn't weigh a whole lot, I don't mind to take it. Like sometimes Jason will bring a Moore knife, something like that, and keep it strapped to.
Every time, I think the last 2 or 3 trips I've been on with him, he had it. He had a Moore knife with him.
But I don't want to just use that as my only knife.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's either I'm going to take my pocket knife or I'm going to take the Moore knife.
Yeah.
I don't take both.
I'd like both for convenience.
Well, see, for me, it doesn't matter either way.
Right.
Both can cut through a steak. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. The point is, if people want to take canned food, they should pack out the cans. Don't leave them. Those things don't burn.
No, but that's the problem. See, let's just get real with that for a second. Most of these people who are bringing in cans, we find them in the fire pit later on.
I think it's less than you think. I think a lot of people pack them back out.
I hope so, because I see a lot of cans in fire pits.
Yeah.
It makes me mad.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's because they don't melt.
Yes.
Yeah. So the point, the whole shindig there was 2 is 1, 1 is none, but you have to kind of tamper that saying because
we're not ultralight. Okay, this is not the ultralight backpacking channel.
But you don't need 2 tents.
No, you don't need 2 tents, Jeremiah. You don't need 2 tents. Did I mention you don't need 2 tents? So
yeah.
I just want to point that out in case you didn't know, but you don't need 2 tents. You also don't need a 27,000 milliamp charger. You don't need to bring a full-size camping chair with you.
We should do another one of these episodes and talk about some other crazy things that we've seen. I had to brainstorm. I'm sure that we've seen a lot.
I've seen quite a few things.
Yeah.
So, but I know this is a shorter episode this time, just for fun, just talking about some things that we've seen people bring out. And guys, if you are new to backpacking and you're listening,
no shame.
Don't be embarrassed by making mistakes.
Yeah.
Just learn from them.
Yeah.
And for all of you who are listening, you've never been backpacking, I will help you not do one of them from the beginning. Go to Walmart. Go to the backpacking camping section. Buy a Sawyer Squeeze. Get you some water bottles that are lightweight. Like, just buy a Life water bottle, Gatorade bottle, whatever you want to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Use those as your bottles, and don't take gallon jugs of water because it's huge, it's heavy, and you can't really pack it. So you'll have to hang it off of something, and it's going to put you through a miserable time.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing you can learn today, just one, go get a Sawyer Squeeze.
Let me add. It doesn't have to be a Sawyer Squeeze, but you can buy them in any Walmart.
Yeah, that's why I said
$30.
Walmart. Yeah, like
get the whole package.
Yeah, if you're new, that's a great thing to start with because it is trusted. It's been around for years. Everybody uses. People use it for 2 and 3 through hikes in a row.
Yeah, don't backflush it with tap water if you can avoid it though.
Yeah, calcification.
Yeah, you'll calcify it.
That's no good.
Awesome. Well, take us out of here, John. I'll hit the purple button.
You hit the purple button. Jeremiah's so excited. He gets to hit all the noises today. So
we're at the Stringer Studio right now.
We are at Stringer Studio.
If you aren't watching on the Backpacking Podcast YouTube channel, we're on there. We're on YouTube, and we're at the Stringer Studio.
That's right. And for myself, Jeremiah Stringer, and Brad Paisley, you all have a good time.
Adios, folks.